Hey, Dex. Hey, how are you guys? I'm just wondering what you guys are putting on this tower. What are you guys putting on the tower? What is all this? Sorry? Antenna? It's one hell of an antenna. Oh, wow. So is this 5G?
They're getting ready for it. That's what that new platform up there. Steel on the bottom, the triangle thing.
Yeah.
Just installed that. It's more support from what the old shit was.
Yeah.
When we put the heavier, more equipment, heavier equipment up there, it's going to allow us to support it.
Okay. Interesting.
By tonight, we're trying to integrate tomorrow, so we just got told about 40 hours ago. Got that done by tonight.
So you have any idea when they'll do the 5G after that?
It could be 5 months, it could be 5 years. You never know. Yeah, I mean, it's bigger markets. But you never know. Like, for example, this type of upgrade's been done in most bigger markets already for years.
Yeah.
They're just going back through and hitting all the smaller markets and the secondary towers and stuff that aren't covered in main spots. And getting those upgraded, getting those ready. So, I mean, 5G's out.
Yeah.
It's here for 5 years, you know.
Yeah. So those for Sprint?
And Boost and whoever else runs off their network.
Yeah, so the last guy who was out here, he said he worked for T-Mobile.
Yeah, that's above us.
Oh, okay. Huh. Well, I just live like right over there, and you know.
We've had a handful of people that live in this apartment building come over and talk to us. Like, yeah,
Did ya?
what's going on? And we got one engineer. We got some guy lives over here. You see an engineer for Procter and Gamble. We go over asking all sorts of questions about what we do and how we do it and how long it takes.
Yeah, because they never tell us anything over there. I mean, you know. And it's like, you know, I mean, this is like pretty daggone close, so you always gotta wonder what's going on.
Well, hopefully faster internet, data speeds for your phone.
Oh, I couldn't care less. I mean, if they get any faster, you know, I mean, how fast do you need it? Is 3 seconds not fast enough?
But you never know. I mean, you also got to take into consideration that so like the antennas that we're putting up are they're faster data speeds, but they're also stronger signals. So they're able to push it farther, cover more space, and then also allow for faster up and down speeds for data for like streaming, uploading. It's like right now, if you were live streaming this,
Oh, I am.
Oh, you are? You're not recording, you're live streaming, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so live streaming takes up a lot more data than an upload, because an upload is going to be consistent. Live stream's got to stay up so everybody can see it in real time. So in order for you to do that, you need higher data speed. And if more people are doing it in one area, you're gonna bog the system down. So that's why we're upgrading this radio, the whole network in general. These new fiber lines, compared to what they used to be up there, are way faster.
Well, then that makes me wonder, though, because, like, I always thought that they needed more towers and they needed the small cells to make, because the millimeter waves don't go as far.
So that's why you have different technologies. You have your 800s, your 1900s, your 200 or 2500s, essentially. And then for AT&T, they've got a whole range. They've got 800s, 700s, 1900s, 2300s, 2100s. And all those are different wavelengths. Travel farther or travel less farther. Some of them have faster speeds, but only go, a couple miles. Some of them will have slower speeds, but travel the entire length of, a run on the interstate, like 10 miles. So
we're having a big day with the new 5G that's going through. They're worried about it messing with the Doppler system.
yeah,
It's like the 5G equipment's going 28.5 or something like that. Doppler 6.8 or something.
yeah, but we have satellite.
Something like that. I don't know exactly.
I mean, it's a nice fail-safe. We have satellite imaging. We don't need to. We can track storms by the second. We don't need to send out sonar and receive it again.
Would you guys ever wonder about, like, the radiation?
Yeah, well, our RF frequencies, and I mean it is a thing, but you have to be careful. What would be the way of it?
We're behind it all when
Yeah.
we're up there working. There's that.
If you're standing in front of one of those antennas when it's live, you're definitely going to know. You're going to get sick, you're going to get dizzy. But they-
Well, what about if you're constantly exposed to it? Because, I mean, nobody ever shuts the tower off.
Well, they got to run tests and everything, so they'll run a test, and if there is a possibility of overexposure, you'll see signs posted on the sides and whatnot.
yeah, so
They
basically,
won't
as
put
long
that
as
kind
you're
of
outside that
equipment
gate,
in rural area.
you're not dangerous.
Now, are these smart meters? Like right on the tower right there? No? Oh, really? Because they just added those.
Actually, this is a new site, actually, the guy was telling me, so, yeah, but no, they're...
Yeah, there was one of those boxes was on there, but the other two are new. I just keep an eye on what's going on.
Just like the digital meters you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, they're just digital service meters like you would have at your house or something. That is
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a smart meter. And like with I mean, like, you know, you heard about what's going on in California. It's like one thing you can tie all those fires to where they had smart meters. And also they talk about like the fluctuation in the bill and stuff. And it's like, I'll tell you, my bill is like crazy. It'll be like $50 a month and then it'll be $150. And it's like, what? Like, you know, like I didn't change anything that I did.
I wonder if it can be hacked.
Yeah, well, that's my question too, you know? It's like they talk about like, oh, we have like a weak infrastructure and, you know, there's a potential of hackers. And it's like, well, what if they put all this power to these and then they turn around and hack them?
I know the old network.
Well, I mean, you got to think, the amount of surveillance they have with exactly what you're doing right now,
Yeah,
they can watch that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So if they wanted to see what was going on at all times anywhere, they could.
Oh, yeah. Well, 5G, it makes that capable in real time.
Exactly.
It's God mode, you know?
But, you know, like I tell everybody else that's into all that, you know, it's like, you actually believe in the government, so that's on you.
Yeah.
I'm just like, if they're going to watch me, then if they're going to waste their time, you know what I mean? I ain't worried about it. All they're going to do is get jealous.
Yeah, no, I more or less, I just get worried about like, you know, just the frequencies and I worry about the radiation. And then I've noticed there's like a huge uptick in the trees around here. All of the canopies are really weak. I mean, that tree's dead. That tree's dead.
It has been kind of a hot and dry year, though.
Well, we've had plenty of rain here, honestly. You guys probably aren't from Ohio, are you?
Yeah.
You are from Ohio? Wow, you guys are the first people who have worked on this tower.
That's how it goes. That's how it usually goes. Like somebody from Texas will come down.
Yeah.
We came back to our house. The one guy lives in a place where we parked the trailer. We come back to his house to drop our equipment off, and there's another trailer and truck there. That was because he lives at a site that's got its own grain silo, and they got towers on the on the top of it, in the middle of town. And we pull up, and there's another crew there that just drove 6 hours
Yeah.
to service the tower that's in his backyard.
The last guys here were Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, well, why do they do that? That doesn't seem cost effective, you know? It's like, why would they send somebody from Michigan to keep, and then we had Kentucky, Michigan, and we did have someone from Texas too.
Oh,
But,
yeah. All over.
yeah,
They pay him to drive and all that stuff. It's crazy.
yeah. They're like, oh, well, they pay us to drive out here, so we don't care.
Right.
But then it's kind of like, you know, it seems like what they try and do is, you know, they contract out so like no one group gets to work on a tower from start to finish. So then they all get to come out and pile stuff on top of each other. So in the end, nobody really knows what all is on that tower.
It all depends. 'Cause, like, for example, this spring, there's somebody out there that sets these blueprints up. It varies. But like the Sprint, like we're the only ones that are going to do this upgrade on this particular thing on the Sprint. If Sprint does another 5G, if we are still working for this company.
Yeah, I was going to say, aren't there lawsuits pending? And
Well, no, not even so much that. I'm talking about as far as like, if you're a contractor, you give us this job, and then let's say 5 years from now they want to upgrade, and we completely surpassed your company, or we fell out, or whatever. So then there might be a new, you know, whatever. But then there's also like, you know, service crews, and we do that too. So we might hit the same tower 6 times in a month just to make sure everything's tightened and back in service, and there's no alarms, and there's no nothing. So we'll always be back to that tower until it's fixed, and then, you know, later on if something happens again and they contract it out to somebody else, you just never know.
yeah.
Whoever sells the radio and
Yeah.
These are,
Well, this one's just worrisome to me only because it's like, you know, I work from home, so it's like I can't escape this tower. I'm around it 24/7, really. So it's like, you know, if you never can turn it off. I mean, my Wi-Fi, I know Wi-Fi is not good for you. I got rid of that, but I at least had the option to unplug my box at night, you know? It's like here, it's kind of like I'm screwed.
you ain't got much to worry about. I will tell you, you know, like the way that you're gonna draw more radiation to you is having that in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, the more stuff you have drawing the radiation towards you is what's gonna end up giving you more problems.
Yeah, definitely.
But anything is trying to get you more. Well, yeah, but I mean that really all depends on how much you're supposed to. That's that point.
Well, I'll tell you one thing I noticed. They just put some of those, the mini 5G cells on the power lines out here.
Like a little dome sitting on top of the light pole.
No, these ones are the boxes with the antennas coming out the bottom of them. And actually, I wasn't sure what it was until I asked one of the guys who was working over here. And he was like, oh yeah, he's like, that's one of those mini 5G cells. I was like, oh, really? So it's like, but if like 5G is not active and you guys aren't putting it on this tower, why the heck are they putting the little cells out? Well, if 5G is not active yet, then why are they putting little cells on the power lines? Yeah.
The whole nation of 5G.
Yeah.
It's up there, it's already compatible. They just gotta make it active.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like not all of it, but some of it. Some of the stuff we just put up, you run 5G. Well, theoretically, you could probably run 6G once it comes around on a lot of things.
Well, I do remember Trump saying he didn't just want 5G, he wants 6G too. Yeah, I was like, oh Lord, but they don't even have 5G up and he wants 6G.
You go to Dayton, all the Dayton's Wi-Fi.
Oh wow.
Anywhere you walk, you got free Wi-Fi. Out in the middle of the field at Dayton, you got Wi-Fi.
Wow.
That's pumping some shit.
Yeah. Well, I just worry about being exposed to that, you know, even if you don't have a cell phone, I mean, you know, it's still gonna, your body's gonna absorb it.
You're gonna get more from your daily sunlight, really.
Yeah. Well, we don't even get any sunlight anymore. Well, why? Because look, they cover the sky with this crap. And then, you know, personally, it's like I watch this tower all the time, and it looks like it's plays its part in it, to be honest. It's like, I don't know, none of those clouds look natural to me. They all, and a lot of the times, they look like they have, you know, they're microwaved. They look like they have, like, ripples in them.
I remember in elementary school, there was the 3 types of clouds. Now through our process of
Yeah, thanks, NASA.
now we've created there's 11 different kinds of
Yeah. Yeah, NASA just recently upgraded that, or updated that for all of us. It was like, what? It's like, I remember what? Cumulus, Cirrus, and Stratus.
It's part of a natural heating cycle. Like how many times we've gone through big freeze and burn out, big freeze and burn out. We're still technically at the end of a glacial era anyway.
Yeah, I don't believe in global warming though, to be honest. I think that's BS.
I think it's a natural occurrence, not made out to be as what it is. But like I said, you know, cooling, heating is going to happen.
Yeah. I say like right now, this weather is unnatural to me. It's felt like October for the past month.
That's Ohio.
Yeah. Of course, we didn't have a lot of humidity. I won't complain about that. For once. I've kind of been ignoring chat. Anyone have any questions while I'm asking? Does anybody have any questions? Oh, scroll up. Someone has a, do you guys, is there any regulation on how many towers you can, is there any regulation on how many towers you can have in a mile radius?
I mean, at this point, they pretty much got them all up. I mean, you won't see too many towers going up anymore these days just because
They're here, yeah.
But what you will see is providers putting antennas on the network's towers and then subbing their secondary carrier spots out to Boost or Virgin Mobile or TracFone or whatever.
Okay.
So these radios are like dual band antennas, dual band radios, so they can support two signals on the same technology for different carriers.
Okay.
So like the primary, which is AT&T, prepaid, and then there's Metro PC, no, that's T-Mobile. So it's all those prepaid providers or secondary contracts. That's why they don't set up any more towers. You have them literally everywhere.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So that's just be a pain in the ass. And what it is like people own it. So you'll have like a company like Crown Castle or what's the other one? American Tower or something like that. And then there's a couple other ones.
Crown Castle, I think, is this one. Yeah, there's a sign on the front. Thousands.
Thousands of towers, like across the U.S.
Wow.
Huge company. And they basically, but then you have the providers, AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, that own the equipment on the tower. And then sometimes you'll have the landowner who owns the land, somebody that probably like owns your apartment complex.
Yeah.
And then you have
I think they might be the same person.
Right. And then you have the turf vendor, which is the people that are in charge of subbing the work out that happens on these sites across the U.S. for this company. So there's so many different like layers of who does what and how they're in charge and who's more powerful. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what bothers me the most is I saw 2 new towers that they put out, and they were like the light post kind of looking ones. They put them right in front of the school, and then they put them in front of the preschool.
Like these?
No, they were smaller. They kind of look like light posts.
Those are probably like Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Yeah, those are probably what
Still, Wi-Fi is bad. I mean, for kids.
They're called I'll think of it in a minute. WISP, wireless internet service providers, and they're just smaller base towers that cover, because when you get these kind of towers, you can only, the signal only goes like down on top of stuff. If you're behind buildings, you have bigger buildings in front of you, trees, coverage, that kind of stuff, you can't get signal. If you get too high, it's too interrupted by microwaves and all this other stuff. So you got to keep it low enough that it can still hit it, but high enough that it's away from all the other interferences down there. So when you get into areas like this, sometimes you'll see where they're inner city areas, especially Dayton, Cincinnati, stuff like that, where they'll have these smaller, shorter towers, but there's a bunch of them and they're all over the place because they're like basically Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
From having dropped calls every time they're in the city around all that concrete.
Okay. I had even heard, you know what I heard? I heard millimeter waves were so strong that it could actually break up concrete. I'm just saying, look out here.
Well, I mean,
It's just like from the concrete out here.
that looks like it's just a poorly kept lot is what that looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, concrete. It gets hot.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, like, I don't know, maybe over time, but then again, I mean, look at this building down here. Is this a blanket factory?
I never see anybody there.
So
And I think they own this land.
let that sit for 20 years and it'll start falling apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why the business went out, because this was more profitable than that.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I figured they got paid. They got paid more per month than they did to run that business. And that's sad, though, because, you know, it's sad that they, you know, I mean, I don't know, that's putting businesses in this area out of work. I don't know how many people worked there, but, you know.
Maybe I went home and got jobs from home to the internet.
Maybe. Too bad they're starting to shift those overseas. Even customer service. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Forever.
To India and you name it.
Really get you. We're the ones working on the tower. We're the ones doing all the support and all the upgrade and all that stuff. We still have to call over there to get them to like verify the work that we're doing.
Oh, wow. I bet that's fun. Because they're reading from a packet 9 times out of 10. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good, but you know, some of them are less knowledgeable than we are, but we're not allowed to have that information because it's proprietary to AT&T.
Oh. They got to make sure there's a middleman.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we sit on hold for 40 minutes. We've had to like sit there and yell in the phone because they can't understand us or vice versa.
That's like calling to get customer service on anything these days.
Frustrated and hang up on us because we're not really customers. We're actually working.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
It's fun.
Yeah, I bet.
It's a good sign.
And that's one of those originals.
I say even the last guys that were out here, they're like, you know, this stuff was originally made as a weapon for the military. They're like, haven't you ever heard of active denial? And I was like, well, how does that work? He's like, well, with enough power, he's like, these towers could be made into weapons. And I was like, ugh. He's like, but you guys don't have enough power source here. And I was like, okay, I guess that's kind of comforting, but well, just over the right over there, if you look over the side of there, there's a big shoot, what's it called? Not a generator, but it looks like a mini power source, like it's all fenced in.
That's still not enough to, and even then, like even with a boost of power that you may potentially get on a site like this, all that RF's gonna do is just make you feel nauseous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's about all it does, really. I mean, it can
Yeah, but that's enough.
over prolonged time mess you up. But I mean, that's just the same as going out and having a few drinks or having, you know, something that you ate that make that upset your stomach. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the same principle.
But we're all guesstimating because there's no long-term studies of being exposed to 5G.
Well, 5G is still going to be in your negative bandwidth.
Well, you know what another guy told me? He told me, he's like, well, if they tell you it's 4G LTE, he's like, that's really 5G. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. He's like, that's really just 5G. He's like, they're labeling it as 4G LTE, so you can't look it up. I was like, oh, wow. Because
I don't think it's that big of a conspiracy that they would try and hide it.
yeah.
They're telling everybody about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's in markets, it's live, it's active, people use it.
Yeah.
There'd be no purpose in them trying to think that guy's unknown.
Well, the more people are educating themselves on it, the more they're like, ooh, I don't think I want
A
this.
lot of people are educating themselves in the wrong way because they're looking up information that's being given by biased sources, by people that don't want it because they're, don't put it on my land, don't do that, don't do this. When in reality, it's the same things that we've been using for 50 years. It's just in a more powerful, I guess, medium. They're pumping more power through it.
But it kind of makes you wonder with just like all the autoimmune diseases, the uprise in autism, just all kinds of things that nobody has an answer for. Like everybody's like, oh, these are these mysterious diseases.
For that kind of stuff. So like mysterious diseases that literally wiped out most of the human population for millenniums now.
Yeah.
Cell phones were around then. Wi-Fi was around then. Vaccines were around then. You know what I mean? People were dying.
Well, those were less mysterious. Those were like the plague.
Right, because now we know what they are because we studied them.
Yeah.
Now we got to study new stuff. You know what I mean? Like we're just still figuring out AIDS. You know what I mean? That's only been in the past.
Well, I think, yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course, everybody thinks it's the government, this, that, the other. Either way it goes, we're still figuring it out. You know what I mean? We're still. Yeah. What I'm saying is, either way it goes, you're always going to have people that are going to be naysayers, and then you're always going to have people that are going to be pro whatever for whatever reason. Obviously not pro AIDS, but you know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you one thing that really made me start looking into it. It was diabetes. Because I was looking into how they actually induce the rats with diabetes is by exposing them to RFs and EMFs.
Well, maybe EMF.
Yeah, that's how they induce it though. And it wasn't even a lot. And it was, yeah.
Magnetic frequency. That's going to come from something completely different than what you're going to get from radio frequency.
And what gives off EMFs?
EMF would be from like power sources, like huge magnets that are generating power for, say, like, I don't know.
Oh, you're going down another rabbit hole. Yeah, dumbs and
Like huge power sources that would, like, for example, the power that they're using in like the Hoover Dam from hydropower and shit, like huge generators. You're going to get electromagnetic frequencies off of. You can also create them and build them up, and I'm sure you've heard of like EMF pulses.
Yeah.
It just basically shuts off electronics. Same principle. But even then, if they were developing weapons like that, I'm thinking they would have tested them and know that there are some type of side effects. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for them to put them on like active battleships with people on them, I would think that it's not too detrimental. It might be disorienting, but it's not too detrimental to like human health.
Yeah.
People running around here smoking methamphetamine that people cook in a plastic bag in a bathroom at a gas station. The last thing I'm worried about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think there's been a dumbing down. Like, I just think they've dumbed down humanity in a whole.
Well, they did that just by
Because of all the
pushing that.
crap we eat and the crap in the air and the crap in the water. I mean, it's just a dumbing down.
They put on the internet and stuff that they literally watch what you look at and what you talk about so you can see more of that because they just want you to continue to be comfortable.
Yeah. Well, and that's mainly why I'm doing this. I'm just trying to, you know, give people like, hey, this is what the guys who actually work on the towers are saying, you know? And instead of people, you know, going and searching and talking to Joe Schmo who doesn't know or who is just a big conspiracy theorist, it's like I want to talk to the people who work on these towers. And it's kind of crazy though, some of the ones that I've talked to, because they've been like, oh yeah, he's like, if you ask me, I think 5G is a dumb idea. And he's like, and they're going to keep stacking stuff on this tower until people start dying, is what he literally told me. I was like, oh, wow. I was like, well, that doesn't make me feel any better.
Sounds like he was having a bad day.
Yeah.
He's got a beard. He's been doing this for 25 years.
Wow.
He's 40-something years old. He's still gets up every day, climbing these towers in great health. I don't think great health. He's old, but at the same time, you know, if there was a problem, I guarantee you he would have been back up there. You know what I mean? Like, there's times where you'll get like static electricity build up in the tower, and you'll get shocked, stuff like that. But like, sort of that, the dangers that are up there are solely left on the person that's up there. Like, if you don't tip off or whatever, if you don't put your safety harness on correctly, it's so few and far between are you going to be on the front side of one of those antennas with it on for it to give you enough RF to hurt you. You know what I mean? Like that. That'd be counterproductive. Think about it. Why would they want to kill off the people that are paying them the money?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like I said,
So is it off when he's up there?
well, no.
Oh, okay.
Yes and no. Like the stuff that we're working on isn't even hooked up yet.
When's that going to be hooked up? Tonight? Tomorrow morning? You guys doing an all-nighter?
I mean, we found out at like 6 o'clock when we were supposed to be getting off. As soon as we found out.
Oh, wow. Wow. See, you always wondered, too, when they do pushes like that. It's like, what the heck for?
Because somebody just miscommunicated and they have Sprint coming out here tomorrow to do integration and they thought it was going to be done and it's not. And
Rather than reschedule, they'd be like, oh, you guys do an all-nighter. I hope they pay you extra to do that. That's ridiculous.
well, maybe towards the end of the week.
Yeah. After you go over your 40.
Yeah, we just get this out. That's my new camera.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
360 omnidirectional camera.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, have you ever seen those videos on like, the internet where you can look at your phone and like, look around on the, and it like moves the thing around?
Yeah. Okay.
As we're working, if we have to see something that's going on at us, we literally get on his phone and look around and see the whole site so they see you.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I say it was funny. I came out here and they had like one of those little owls sitting up in the corner. And like it was like when I looked up on him, it was like, oh, okay, so those actually do video and audio. Because at first, like I asked one of the guys out here what it was for, and he's like, oh, that's just to scare off the squirrels. Because I kept coming out here and it was just weird. I was like, why are you guys out here again? Huh?
What?
Yeah, like the owl, it wasn't just, it actually had it was a recording device. Gave visual and audio.
Where was this?
It was just on top of actually the thing that, with the cabinet, with the door that he's sitting on. It was on the very top of that.
I think they were fun.
Well, he told me it was to scare the squirrels away.
Yeah, I've seen 100 of those on every side. You actually found them on the site and we just like, you know, gave them back up to where they're supposed to go.
Some sites actually have real fake, real dead birds in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll just have like the remains. Something, some other property. They just wire it up.
That's crazy.
It's taxidermy. Yeah.
They go out and taxidermy the whole thing out.
Smells good.
Wonderful.
No, that's fine. You want it?
my drinks. You want to drink in there? Not a warm one.
Does anybody have any questions for them? Because I'm going to wrap it up soon. I don't want to get bit by mosquitoes. Ask how many HB478 towers they're installing in your... Okay. As soon as he comes back over. Buy such big, thick cables. What do they do? Okay. Me. So one of my viewers has a question. They were asking how many HB478 towers they're installing in our area. HB as in boy, 478 towers. Oh, I'm sorry. She said, how many HB478 towers are they installing in your area?
I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah, that's, see, like, this one is, as far as I know, is just a T-Mobile and Sprint.
Okay.
So that's normally when we get them, that's what we get them by, like a Sprint, or it's a T-Mobile site, or Crown Castle, American Tower. We don't ever know the specifics on the actual tower listing.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I probably could find it out if we looked on, like, the prints and blueprints for this, because they have everything spec'd out, but...
Okay.
Yeah. That specifically, I could probably maybe find out, but it would take some digging for me to figure it out.
Okay.
Some of the bigger guys know more about that stuff.
Well, I just appreciate you guys talking to me, really. I do.
It's no problem. No reason not to be kind.
Yeah, right? Yeah, and it's like, you know, I'm not out here holding anything. I'm just trying to bridge the gap for some people, you know?
Right.
It's like, I don't, you know, some people are all like, oh, I go out there and I hassle them and give them a hard time. And it's like, well, that's counterproductive, you know? It's like, I'd rather, you know, just try and figure out what's up. And, you know, I understand you guys are just doing your job, you know? Everybody's got to put bread on the table.
Right on. All right.
Can you ask them what the name of the company they work for? Yeah, they work for Sprint. AB Buckeye. Hey, Murphy's Law. How are you, hon? Stefan, Helen. Hey, all. Just stopping in. Vlad. Hey, Vlad. All right, T-Mobile and Sprint. Maybe put the squeeze on our carriers might help. Get your tank, CJ. Yeah. Yeah, he said they work for Sprint, and then the tower is Crown Castle. Owns this tower. Oh, okay. There was somebody who was wondering how come you guys use how come there's such thick cables used on this tower? He's like, why are they so thick? Yeah.
Because they've got nine cables, 9 power cables, and then hybrid cables in each rack.
Oh, okay. So there's 9 cables.
Plus insulation, plus copper, the rope in between it, all the insulation.
So he said there's 9 cables and power cables rolled in each stack, along with insulation and copper. I want to know if they would let their kids live. Okay. Somebody wants to know, would you let your kids live next door to a tower?
Yeah.
He said yes. Hey Dennis, good to see ya. Bones? No, I'm not yelling that, Phoebe. Are you crazy? Hey, I'm Gito.
The only way I wouldn't let my kids live next to it is if they would live there. And even then, it's not that bad.
If they lived up where? Up at the...
Like on the top of the tower.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. At first I thought you were pointing towards my apartment. I was going to say, oh, I know. I was going to say, that's not good.
No, you're getting more RF further out than you are. It doesn't come straight down. It always projects out.
Okay.
So it's more out than anything else. So like right here in the like half a mile radius is like little to none at the ground level. Now you go further out, it'll start picking up.
Okay. So it's actually okay. Well, see, that just seems so contradictory to just what they tell us about, like, you know, the millimeter waves. They're like, oh, well, that's why we have to put a lot of cell towers, and that's why we need the mini cells, because there's such thick millimeter waves that they don't carry as far, but...
Depending on the technology, depending on if they're running 800, 1900, or the 2.5, which is the 2500.
Oh, okay.
It all depends on what frequency they're running. How many megahertz?
It all depends on what frequency they're running and how many megahertz. So it has to do with the technology, is how far it carries it.
One more and we can do powers. We're going to have to move the fuse over to the 15.
Wow, it's getting really dark. All right, you guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'll do one more question if anybody's got a good one. And then I'm gonna head in, because the bugs are coming out. This new plane. Thanks, Vlad. Depends how greedy. Yeah, I'm sure that has a lot to do with it, Phoebe. Does the tower use Doppler frequency? I'd say last question, and then I'll get out of your hair.
Well, now that's a little harder. See, there's a trick to that. You take your thumb and shove it straight up your ass. It comes out like a fucking rocket. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Oh, where'd that go? Is this, okay. Does this tower use Doppler frequency? I'm gonna go and ask one of these guys over here. Thanks for talking to me, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem.
Have a good night. Hey, thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it. I say I have one last question. They wanted to know, does this tower use Doppler frequency? No? All RF?
That's what I talked about earlier with the 5G crowd, like big worry to worry about. 5G messing with Doppler because the frequencies are too far off.
Okay.
No, this all comes in. Excuse me, this all comes in a dish up here from another tower that's fed because they can't run fiber all across the earth, right? So you'll run fiber to one main hub tower. So that shoots up the power. These dishes are on the corner, and those are back in. And they shoot signal from here, and then this one shoots there, and then that one shoots over there, and that one shoots over there. And that signal is what they send down to these units. They get transmitted back up to the radios, and then out of the antennas to you, and then back from your phone, there, down, back, and then bounce all over.
Okay.
That way you don't run fiber optic lines under the ground every day. You have to have a source for that. You can't just run them from 30 miles down the road.
So these towers, do they not have fiber optics in the ground?
Not in the ground, no.
Not in the ground?
Anyone that you see that has the antennas on both sides facing two different directions. Now, in the States got it. They get underground fiber. Well, I mean, some places, but when you see these antennas, that means they're connected to other towers. So you'll know when there's one that's like the main, the hub, you'll have tons of these going up the tower.
Tons of wires. Okay.
But then you also have your service network, or your fiber network coming in. Your surface fiber, I'm sorry, it's on the wall.
That's okay. I totally understand. Yeah, you guys are on overtime now. I said there's another one that's a triple stacker that looks just like this one that's directly across the street. And I did see it has an antenna, but I think it only has one. So would that mean that there's probably another one that's a main one?
Well, no, that might be the main one, just wherever it is. It only has the one coming off of it
Because this one only has one. Well, I don't know if it...
One on this side, one here, that one over this side, one there, and another two on the other side.
Oh, okay. So this one's got 4?
It's got 6.
Oh, shit.
You can
6.
see the two on the end here. There's one facing this way towards your building, and one facing that way. There's this big one and the small one. And then there's 2 more on this corner, and 2 more on the other corner.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And that's
All
how
right.
they communicate with each other.
I'll get out of your guys' hair. I appreciate it. You guys have been awesome. Thank you. You have a good night. No.
Out of my hair.
Oh, come on. No, never. You too. All right, you guys. I'm going to cut this. I will catch you guys later. Thank you for coming. Love y'all. God bless.